Good morning. It's a very rainy day here, and I spent 7 hours yesterday cleaning and reorganizing my pantry, and I realized I have no pinto beans, absolutely none. So I'm going to start canning some. Now, many people can their beans in many different ways. Some people soak their beans overnight. Some people put the beans in the jar and then they add the water and let them soak. I don't do any of that. I measure the beans. I put in a half a cup of dry pinto beans, put them straight into the jar, and then I add the spices, and then I add the water, and then I pressure can them. Now, I found that if you put in more than a half a cup of beans, those beans, when they're cooking in the pressure cooker, they get way up here. So you have to be very careful the amount of beans that you put in your jar. Now, this is my recipe here. So for pints, it's 75 minutes to pressure can. I add garlic, red chili peppers, and cumin. And I do about an eighth of a teaspoon in each jar. So let me get that. Okay. And it can be more or less, doesn't have to be right on, but they're very good. Now, we go through a lot of beans, and we eat them just like this, or I smash them up after they're all cooked and stuff, and then they're on the shelf. I'll go grab a jar, and I will use my immersion blender, and I will make the best bean dip that you've ever had. Let's see. Oh, I got one more. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to do the crushed red pepper. Now you guys can add whatever spices you like in your pinquitos. This is just something that I have found that we like, and I keep making them the same way. You could add them a little hotter. You can add like chopped jalapenos if you'd like. And you can put some onion, whatever you like. Let's see here. Did I get all the jars? Let me check. Yep, I got all the jars. Okay. Okay, I got all the jars. Now let's get the roasted garlic. Now, you can use garlic salt. You can use garlic powder. I like to use the roasted minced garlic. Now, after putting the spices and stuff in, if you still feel uncomfortable about pressure canning without having the beans soft, you can let these beans sit in the refrigerator overnight in the jars and then bring them to room temperature before you pressure can them. Okay, so I've got the spices in. Now with the water, you're going to add the water right here to the edge, and you can use tap water. It can be just cold tap water. It doesn't have to be hot because it's going to be heated when you put them in the pressure canner. Okay? So let me get these jars filled and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have all the water in. Now I'm just going to kind of stir, get the spices incorporated. Now at this point, if you want your beans soft before you start the pressure canning, now is the time you can put the seal and the ring on and just set them in the refrigerator and let them go overnight to start soaking up some of the water. But again, you do not have to. Okay, you don't have to. Now, in my experience, when I've taken these out of the pressure canner, some jars have had every drop of water soaked up into those beans. So it looks like you just have a dry jar of beans. Those are okay. So when you go to reheat them, add a little bit of water for some moisture, and they're just fine. Other jars I've had, looks like that there's a little water left. That's fine too. So the point is getting these beans soft. So I'm going to let them set for a minute, get my pressure canner ready. I'm going to wipe the rims, and I'm going to put on the seal and the rings, and then we're going to get them started in the pressure canner. Now remember, if your water is cold, the pressure water has to be cold. The pressure canner water has to be cold. If your water is hot, if you've boiled your water, the water that they go into has to be hot. You don't want to get any cracked jars. So let me get the pressure canner going and get it ready, and I will come right back. Okay, so as you can see, a couple of my seals have already things marked on them. I'm reusing these seals. These seals I used for dry canning to hold things in my pantry. These weren't canned. This one held dried cilantro. This one held dill pickle powder. So that's why I'm reusing those. But I don't want to throw them away. They're still good seals. Okay, so I have all of them in but two. Now I have a double stacker, but I'm going to be doing another batch. So I've left two out over here sitting on the counter until these are done. Okay, so I'm going to start this. I'm not going to show you how I use my pressure canner because most of you already know how to do that. And again, these were only used for dry goods. Okay, so I'll be back when these are done. Okay guys, 22 jars of Pinto beans all done. Now like I was telling you, don't do any more than a half a cup per pint. Now remember I was telling you sometimes a jar will look like there's not enough liquid? That's okay, just add a little extra liquid when you're heating them up. Other jars are absolutely perfect. So these are going to be some wonderful winter meals, some good refried beans. I should probably do another 4 or 5 jars, but I think this will be okay because I'm out of pint jars. Oh, there we go. I'm out of pint jars. I did 3 batches, and it's super easy peasy, guys. Really, oh, listen to them pop. Really easy. I hope you learned. I do the same with black beans. Exactly the same. Same ingredients, same everything. And I do not get the beans. I don't let them soak. I just put them in the jar, just like the video, and I put them right into the pressure canner. Hope you enjoy.